Ever since the infamous Brawl-Out fiasco last summer, All Elite Wrestling has been in a bit of a slump in comparison to the other major league sports entertainment company that we all know as WWE or World Wrestling Entertainment. Part of this is due to growing pains, booking decisions, and personnel issues behind the scenes at AEW. I'd also venture that one of the biggest reasons is the shift in WWE's ability to create compelling rivalries with its characters. None stand larger than the Bloodline storyline centered around Roman Reigns, the Usos, Paul Heyman, Solo, and other characters like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes. It is without a doubt one of the best storylines in modern wrestling, if not the entire history of the sports entertainment genre. However, something did happen over the last month that did provide some spark for AEW, with fans and haters often criticizing the promotion for its lack of compelling storylines recently. A time limit draw between AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole sparked an unexpected set of matches and skits that started to capture the imagination of fans. The Bromance was born. Since the beginning, MJF has been seen as one of the brightest stars in All Elite Wrestling that did not come from the WWE. Since then, he has had epic feuds with Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, and the titanic battles with CM Punk last summer. Add in a shoot, work, I'm leaving the company situation last year, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman firmly established himself as a major star in the world of pro wrestling. In contrast, Adam Cole debuted in AEW late in 2021, having been the former face of the show that competed against AEW Dynamite in its beginning, WWE's NXT brand. Cole made the jump to AEW with a lot of fanfare, but that died down as it didn't seem that he was doing much that made fans excited outside of his entrance music. An unfortunate injury at Forbidden Door 2022 put him on the shelf for months. Upon his return, Cole came back to start a feud with Chris Jericho that is better forgotten. Now MJF and Cole are the hottest storyline in the company, with many fans wondering when this tongue-in-cheek, will they, won't they partnership will fizzle. Max and Cole are also top-tier performers, both in the skits that they perform and this charming chemistry they have as unlikely tag team partners seemingly turn friends. It is a storyline that could have legs on it. This past week on AEW Collision, what may have been the likely ending of the story when they lost the AEW Tag Team Championship match against FTR, in fact did not wind up with the team splitting. Much like the Sami Zayn chapters of WWE's Bloodline story, what started out as a comedy segment has turned into something that fans want to continue to see. The question is, will this be AEW's Bloodline or AEW's Black Scorpion? Throughout the modern era, feuds like the Von Erichs versus the Freebirds, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon, Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega, the NWO versus WCW all had about a year to a year and a half shelf life, where fans could not get enough of the rivalry. Most of these storylines didn't have a grand plan at the beginning. Often in pro wrestling, despite how easy some fans think booking is, promotions are throwing ideas against the wall. Every so often, one of them sticks and they run with it. Even rarer are these types of stories that go on with no signs of slowing down until every possible angle has been exhausted or the fans get bored of it. As of right now, MJF and Cole's Bromance is in its early stages with fans wanting it to continue. But for every Austin McMahon, there are other instances where something starts out hot and fizzles into nothing. For those of you who are younger or were never WCW fans, in 1990, Sting won the WCW World Championship from Ric Flair at the Great American Bash. At the time, Sting was the hottest star in North American wrestling who wasn't with the WWF. In late summer, mysterious videos popped up on WCW television from a hooded figure known as the Black Scorpion. This mystery man dropped hints that he had a past with Sting, threatened to ruin Sting's career if not flat out end it, and challenged Sting for the WCW Championship at the Clash of the Champions that fall. For the first time in many years, WCW had a storyline, for a few months at least, that held the attention of every wrestling fan, even beyond anything the WWF was doing at the time. Fans speculated for weeks over who the Black Scorpion was. Was it the Great Muta? Was it the Ultimate Warrior, a main event star in the WWF at the time? who was also a former partner of Sting in the past. Was he going to be making a jump from WWF to WCW? Were we possibly seeing an interpromotional feud between the WWF champion, the Ultimate Warrior, and the WCW champion Sting? The Clash of the Champions came and no one had any idea what was coming. The Masked Man didn't look like anyone most of the fans at the time recognized, although it was later revealed to be Al Perez, a former World Class Championship Wrestling and NWA talent. When the match ended, Sting was victorious, but in a shocking revelation, another Masked Man appeared on the entrance ramp. That was the real Black Scorpion. The man Sting had been wrestling was a decoy. The show ended with more questions than answers. This brilliant start to this hot storyline was hampered by one thing. This was early 1990s WCW. Ole Anderson was in charge of the story, and in various interviews over the years, he's admitted to not really knowing where the storyline was going. Many others, from Ric Flair to Jim Cornette, have commented on how much of a missed opportunity this was for WCW. Over the next few months, what started out as the most interesting story in pro wrestling turned into cheap magic tricks, redundant promos, and the eventual disappointing reveal that the Black Scorpion was Ric Flair all along. That wasn't the original idea, but by the time Starrcade 1990 came around, they needed to end the storyline, and this was the best they could come up with. AEW's bromance between MJF and Adam Cole will be the next test of Tony Khan's booking ability. Can something that many suspected was a short-term comedy skit be expanded into an epic storyline like WWE's Bloodline story, or will it sink into absurdity like WCW's Black Scorpion fiasco? As wrestling fans, we'll have to wait and see.